A few weeks ago, I stumbled on an incredible abandoned village here in Japan. It turned out it was actually one of over a dozen abandoned villages in the area. I left with so many more questions, and since online research just wasn't cutting it, I decided to go back and stay as long as it took to find the answers and people to share their stories. It took 2 days, and this is how it played out. I just arrived back at the abandoned village, and there's a house right up around the corner here. These right here are probably my biggest concern. I actually checked bear information for the area, and it seems that bears don't actually pass through this spot. They have their own route, but still, shotgun shells it's concerning. I'm probably not going to go too far beyond the doorways because I don't trust the structural integrity of these places. Most of the floors have collapsed completely in, and even standing in the doorway you can hear the place creaking, but I will try to give as much of a peek inside them as I can, but we're not going in unless it feels safe. It's not the small stuff that gets me, it's the big stuff. It's the family photo albums and things like the certificates of appreciation that people have left behind. There's one on the wall there for someone doing something big for a retirement home. It doesn't say what it is, but they did something. The calendars that are posted on the wall paint a picture of this particular section of the village being abandoned somewhere around summer. I'd say July or August. In fact, there's even a newspaper right here that says August 29th of 2007. That feels so incredibly recent. From what I understand about this place, the abandonment was more of a gradual process. Not everything was abandoned at once. So why is there so much left behind? This entire village is essentially built up the side of a mountain, so it's not the most accessible place in the world. In fact, just getting here, you drive through this dragon mouth tunnel, which is kind of cool in its own way. But then you've got to go up this winding road for probably a good 5-10 minutes before you even get to the village. It makes me wonder why people chose to live here in the first place. I can understand the main part of the city, which was replaced by the dam, but I'd really love to meet somebody who knows more about this village. So I think today I might actually go and see if I can't find somebody who can tell me more. The first time I came here, I actually thought that someone was living in this section here, and I was hoping I might be able to talk to them when I came back, but there's absolutely no one. This section here is just completely abandoned, and so I might go down to where the dam itself is and see if I can't find someone who can at least point me in the right direction. I'm still just taken aback by how much stuff is left behind. So this is the section of the abandoned village that we came to last time. In fact, this is the very spot that the monkeys chased me away. That's not cool. Last time I came here, there was an acoustic guitar leaning up against it that really added to the aesthetic, and now it's gone. It's just not there anymore. And the number one rule of coming out to places like this is you don't touch anything. You don't take anything. You leave it exactly how you found it. That's disappointing. Last time it took me longer to get out here than I was expecting, and I ran out of daylight pretty quickly, so I didn't get to explore as much as I wanted to. I kind of stopped off at this last house here, but there's more houses up here. They were just built right up the side of this mountain. What did they do about groceries? Did they just carry them up? Wow. One thing that's really weird to me is the houses up on the top of the hill are the emptiest. They have the fewest personal belongings. In fact, they're almost gutted. And one of the theories that I had of why so much stuff was left behind was simply laziness. If you're not emotionally attached to it, then it's easier to leave it behind than it is to take it with you. But wouldn't it be more difficult to bring stuff with you from the house? I don't know. But it would be a lot easier to bring stuff with you from those houses that were right near the road than the ones that are way up here. Also, if you're not a big fan of bugs, this is not the place for you. There are bugs everywhere. So I found this hut here, but what really caught my attention was this right here. It looks moderately freshly cut and the leaves are still green. So at the very least, there are people doing forestry up here. There's got to be someone around here that can tell me something. There are several mountain villages scattered around, and I heard that there's still 1 or 2 people living here. If I was able to find one of those, that would be amazing. I would love to hear their story if they're willing to share it. But I've even brought camping stuff. I will stay in this area overnight if I have to. All right, let's get going. All right, so I just got to Uraima Dam, the dam that started all of this. The reason that the villages are abandoned to begin with, in the hopes.
でも日本語上手ですよね。はもう誰もいないですよね。ちょっといくつかこう点在している集落はありますけど、はもう誰もいないですよね。まあうちの実家が先でここから1キロぐらいのところの最初のこう10軒ぐらいある集落なんですけど、そこには何人か人がいるから、もしかしたらそこに行っていただければ誰かがね。話をしてくれるのがいるのかなと思うし、
わざわざありがとうございます。
何のあれにもお役に立ったかどうかわかんないけど、すいません。ありがとうございます。
I've come out to the dam, to the management office, and asked if there's anybody that they can introduce. And apparently there's one person who lives by who used to live in the village, and they're actually giving them a call for me right now. So fingers crossed, maybe. I asked him if I could borrow about 5 or 10 minutes of his time, and he said, "Can I have more?" And he just shared everything with me. I've been talking to him for probably the better part of the last 45 minutes, and just an amazing person who just really wanted to share his story, so I'm super glad. You would not believe how many spiders I have found on myself and my gear today. Before we head out, I wanted to share one really interesting fact about Japan has a small obsession with dams. So much of the fact that you can go around to different dams in Japan and collect something called dam cards. These are actually my first dam cards ever. And different dams around Japan have dam curry, and there's an entire dam curry map. And like many other places around Japan, there's also stamps that you can get. I highly recommend bringing a little notebook or stamp book if you like collecting stuff like that, because you can grab them anywhere. That's it. Just wanted to share Japan's little obsession with dams. I'm quickly running out of daylight though, so I'm gonna see if I can't find a place to set up camp for the night. This is the campsite that I'm thinking of staying at tonight. It's a little discomforting that there's a bear warning like right there. Gotta be safer than just sleeping in the forest, right? I carry a box of camping stuff with me, specifically for situations like, well, I guess specifically for camping. Just about done, just have to add the tarp over top. I remember last year I posted a picture of my tent and everyone's like, whoa, you have a see-through tent? It is mesh and breathable, but you do need the tarp over top, otherwise you will freeze to death at night. And if it gets rained, you're just add some pegs and start a fire. There we go. Now she's ready. There we go. Have a little bit of a meal by the campfire tonight. and then get an early start because there's still so much more of this area to explore, and if possible I'd love to interview at least one more person in the area. I think I can pull it off. It's just nice to be right by the river. So it's about 7:30. The day started. I'm out here collecting signs like this monkey sign. They're everywhere. Monkey and bear warnings.
クマがね、この蜂蜜が好きなんですよ。それで毎年クマにやられるから電気柵12000ボルトぐらい。を見せてやろうと思ってるんだけど、見つからねえな。見つからないか。これはね、ちょっとね、この蜂粗い。ちょっと刺しそうなんだ。おとなしい蜂もいるんですよ。箱によってね、そば行っただけで刺すとか。煙かけなくても刺さないとか、いろんな性質があるから、一軒住んでる。だから、そこまで連れてってやろうか。まあ行きましょう。もう時間がなくなるから。ついてきて。
Oh, this is amazing. So Hamada-san has brought me into some very, very narrow mountain roads. We've already passed at least 3 or 4 abandoned houses. This is adventure. I just happened to see him doing some beekeeping on the side of the road and thought, you know what? I want to stop and talk to him for a second. And now look at us. And look at we are. More abandoned homes. Oh, this is so exciting. The deeper we get into the mountains, the more I understand why he offered to bring me rather than just giving me directions. There's no way I would have been able to follow directions out to this. We've been driving for probably a good 15-20 minutes so far, and wow.
歩かないといけない。はい。最後のうち。名前出せばわかるから。あ、ETC カードが残っています。
本当にありがとうございました。Okay, that is, what a great guy. And he said he actually knows the person who lives here. So if I go and just give his name, I have no idea where I put the car keys. They should be willing to talk a bit. Seriously, where'd I put the keys? I feel like a little kid. I feel like I'm on an adventure. I'm exploring. I feel really grateful. I came out here just wanting to capture the story of a few people and be able to share it, and I feel like that's exactly what we're doing. And there's a guy down by the river too. He just looks so excited to talk. How's he get up? How is he? どうもどうも。
ここ上がってくるとね、
はい。
1軒あるんですよ。
はい。
まあ今4軒あるんだけど、みんな出ちゃって、私もこの下に出ちゃってるんだけど、はい。なんだ、1軒だけ上行ってみた方がいいですよ。はい。いるから。
Just amazing. Did you see the way he climbed up that mountain? So he's encouraged me. He's like, go up. They'll be so happy to see you. They're almost definitely home. But wow, they weren't kidding about what a walk this is up this hill. Check this out. But this is so exciting. My heart is racing out of my chest with excitement right now at the opportunity to just capture and tell these people's stories. Like, the excitement is so real. All right, so a bit of a disappointing twist. He wasn't particularly interested in sharing his story. He was super friendly about it though. And so my excitement aside, I'm more than happy to give him his space. It's gotta be weird, somebody just coming up to your house anyway. However, the day is still young, and Hamada-san gave me a hint on where to go to next to find some people who might share more with me. Oh, there we go. If what Hamada-san tells me is true, that's the last person living in these abandoned villages. But I came into the project knowing that there were risks. If I was the last person living in an abandoned village, I probably wouldn't want to be, I just want to be left alone. And so when I approach as cautiously as possible, and I'm glad that I did that, and I'm glad that he was friendly. It was still a super good memory, but I've got more time to figure out what I'm gonna do with this. Okay, all right, you know what? Let's get going. On my way back into town, I found another abandoned property. This one is long since abandoned. This building is actually really beautiful. The flowers really make it, but you know what? This one has a cement floor here, so let's actually take a bit of a peek inside. Alright, so I just met a gentleman who grew up in this area and said he's willing to share a little bit of his story, so let's go see what he has to say. Alright, the excitement is back. He's invited me to follow him to the village that he lived in. Oh, wow. He was telling me the same thing that the beekeeper was, which is because of being so deep in the mountain, there's a problem with animals. Everything from monkeys and boars to deer and bears. And this particular village originally had about 11 houses in it, and they were all kind of built up the side of the mountain like this. And while a lot of people have left stuff behind, his brother helped him tear down his house. They really weren't kidding. The irony of this is just, wow. Just grabbed definitely more food than I need over at 7-Eleven. Eat in the car. And then I think I want to get a little more B-roll of the abandoned village before leaving. Chicken. It's like 2 of these yesterday, at least 2 of these today. It is the go-to lunch when I'm on the road. And a tuna mayo. And can you see how tired I am? Oh, I'm feeling it. Okay, I'm gonna eat, re-energize, and no more words. This place has an amazing view. This is the house pretty much at the very top, and the gentleman here spared 5 minutes to tell you. He said he moved in after basically everything. He said he's one of actually the newest residents, but he also mentioned that this set of houses here is also almost entirely abandoned. Look at these here. I walked through here assuming that people lived in each of these places, but amazingly they're just abandoned. I could honestly stay here for another week and still not tell all the stories that there are to be told. That's why I put a cap on it though, so I don't overdo it. I've already filled up like 2 128 gigabyte memory cards, as well as 2 drone cards, and I probably won't use half the footage. But also I've been using the GoPro Hero 9 for a lot of my B-roll, and it has worked effectively about 30 to 40% of the time. GoPro, fix your stuff. I'm never gonna get anywhere. I keep finding cool stuff on the side of the road, like this shrine here, and getting massively sidetracked just so I can go check it out. Let's go take a quick peek. Oh, wow. That's crazy. There's nothing else up here. It's just this shrine and then the stairs of death that I pray that I don't fall down. These stairs are not clear and they're super slippery because of everything that's on them. Whew. Okay. As I was coming up the road over here, I could have swore I saw someone sitting up there. So I am losing light quickly, but what are they doing out here? There's nothing out here. I gotta go find out. Hopefully they'll be willing to talk. They look like maybe a hiker. ちょっと暗くなる前にちょっといろいろ乗ろうと思って。わざわざ。Back at the original abandoned village. She wasn't from here, but hikes through these mountains quite a bit and told me that there's actually so many abandoned villages through here that in all her time hiking, she has still to find them all. She's like, if you follow the water, if you follow the river, you will find village after village, and the vast majority of them built deep into the mountains have just been abandoned. I gotta get a little more B-roll here because all my previous B-roll was shot in 12K and it is super hard on the computer, so... The one problem with these places, I don't mind bugs, but spider webs on my face every 15 to 20 seconds, that I mind. And this actually looks really nice with the way the petals are. I think this is it. I think this is the path I was searching for the other day, which actually leads to that gentleman who lives in one of the abandoned houses. The lady with the map kind of pulled it out and she's like, yeah, I think you'd be going up this way. I was going completely the wrong direction. I guess that's gonna have to be a journey for another time. We made it there, albeit by car, which would probably safer than traversing through the woods. This side of the mountain, there's no bears, but on that side there are. In fact, she was even saying, she's like, oh, yep, the bears are already out. You can see their droppings on the ground. The food is out. So all of that being said, with it getting darker, we're just gonna play this one safe. A lot of you have said that you wanted longer videos. I feel like this is probably gonna be a pretty long video. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. I hope you had a great time, and you guys know, I will see you again real soon. Also, I'm gonna be forever curious about this pathway here. There's so many unanswered questions. So many. Maybe someday I'll come back. Meeting that hiker today gave me the idea that maybe I could just come back here for hiking sometime. It doesn't need to be for a video. I could just come back and hike. This would be a nice area for hiking. Huh. So I was leaving the area and I happened to stumble across the village from Siren. This place is creepy. Look at this kimono doll just pinned here. I almost feel like this is gonna have to be a video all of its own sometime. What do you think? Should I come back? Also, it was no small feat getting here. It took me the better part of probably 20 minutes climbing up a mountain to get to this point, so too cool.